Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Waggle That Shit, Smack That Shit. I'm your host, Manolo, and we have some reading to do. We're in chapter 3, but first, we must recap chapter 2 because that's how I feel you're supposed to teach is you got to talk about what you did and bring it up. And did any of you do this since the last time we spoke? I've given you a couple weeks because I've been doing some stuff, and now it's time to get back to the nitty-gritty. Did you do any of this? Do you have your shoulders and your knees and your legs, head, shoulders, knees, and toes? Did you do any of that? I hope so, because that's how I'm going to recap chapter 2, is you've got to have a really good stance and a really good posture in order to be athletic, in order to smack that shit how you're supposed to do it. Let's get down to the first part of the swing, chapter 3. You see that? Okay, chapter 3. I'm going to read, and I'm going to you know what I'm saying? What is it? Cliff notes, ad-lib, all the things. I've got Thursday Night Football on. They are in Miami. It's a game. So if you see me, I always like to, when I'm reading, have the game on because then I can you're watching it, we're watching it. And you see that this is live and direct. This is not artificial intelligence. This is gangster intelligence. Some persons who have made their golf career devote the majority of the portion of their working hours to teaching the game. They like to teach. If they're dedicating their life to golf, they like to teach. Right out the gate, that's what they do. In contrast to the home professional, other members of the profession are, first and foremost, tournament golfers who follow the circuit. So listen, golf is you got amateur hours, you got the pros, and then you've got the pros that do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Pro is really good, and then there's a pro that's I made that shit, bro. That's gangster shit. Like these guys right now, what's going on? Second down, 21-6. Ooh, the Miami Dolphins seem to swim faster. All right. There are a few professionals, not many, who combine serious teaching and serious competitive golf. But for the most part, keeping themselves tuned up for tournament golf takes all of a man's time nowadays because the competition is much keener. Today, you have to be a specialist in the golf. Basically, what he's saying here is this. If you want to be a tournament golfer, it takes every minute of every second of your life. If you want to be a nasty perro. I mean, it does. And none of you practice, really. You go with the friends and the homies and the homegirls and you do all the stuff you got to do during the week. And then on Saturday or Sunday or whatever, you take a day off and let's go play. So the moral of the story here, before we get into all that, is that you have got to take this. Just go have the time of your life. The ball's going to go where it's going to go. You're going to hit a couple good shots. You might hit a handful of good shots. But the majority of your shots are going to stain. And that's okay. Because until you practice, you got to cut yourself some slack because you can't expect to be great if you don't practice. That's just standard. Are you not teaching that at home? In any event, that has been true in Ben Hogan's case. Preparing himself for tournaments and participating in them consumed practically all of his time and energy. He often wondered if the demands of being a tournament golfer had not been so all-encompassing that he wouldn't have been a first-class teacher in the game of golf. That vato was nasty. He competed at the highest level, but he loved teaching. I do too. And I'll smack that shit with the nastiest of them too. Don't get me wrong. All I want to do is do it behind me. But I got to teach you guys. You got to go through these chapters. Chapters 1 and 2 and 3 is the first part of the swing. Here we are. So he really didn't know the answer to whether what am I going to do? Do I do it? He stayed tournament golfing and that's it. So he certainly didn't and doesn't have the ideal temperament for teaching, not compared to such natural teachers as Henry Picard, Claude Harmon, and Al Watrous, who were champions when they were playing tournaments. And Manolo, obviously, I know how to teach. And I'm teaching you. I love to teach. I want to show you. I want you to be better. I want you to suck so fast that you don't even know and that you have so much fun because it's the animal instinctions. So if you go out there and you start doing calculus and calculations and okay, come on. You're just paralysis analysis. You need to feel the lion. You think a lion, when he sees the gazelle, he starts going through the calculations. Well, if I run that way, and if I get that way, and he's not playing chess, he's playing die. You know what I'm saying? You know this, and it's on. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, blah 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 blah. Explain to him what he ought to be doing, why it is correct, and the result it produces, and work like blazes to get across so that he really understands what you're talking about. That was the teachers telling Hogan, you got to do it this way. You got to get your point across, and you got to call hell or the high water to spit that shit out, man. So, generally speaking, a teacher is no better than his pupil's ability to work and to learn. There was a young businessman at the club, Fred Ehrman, who had the ability to learn, and they did a very satisfying job together. He was a 90 shooter in April. 5 months later, he was playing in the 70s and won the club championship. That's 5 months. This vato had his time with that vato, saying, don't be nasty, to like, hey, man, check it out, man. Ship that shit, put that shit. And frankly, you could too. Now, we got a gangster full swing simulator in the joint where we're able to practice year round, and thankfully blessed to live in a place where it doesn't matter. But it helps. You've got to roll the rock and you've got to chip that shit if you want to be nasty. So one of the things that I would be a proponent of, this commercial is hilarious, Charlie Woodson, the guy where he eats the cotton candy from the kid and he's like stuck, like out, and he just eats it, is hilarious, is this one. You've got to practice. Practice the swing, go into the garage, groove that shit, learn that shit. It's fun when you grow and you know, then the new season comes and you got some shit to go out and work on all year. Golf is something you can do kind of forever, Lord willing. All the other sports is done. You're not playing contact football. We're watching them do it. Go put in some work. All right, blah, 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 blah. He says this and that and the other. In 1946, I'm reading some shit from 1939 and 19 gangster shit. Beginning in 1946, I was able to win some of the big championships, and being able to win was the proof I needed that what I felt was correct was indeed correct. Because, like, you're not going to win if your shit's all chueco and crazy. Your shit's got to be tight and legit, and that's like, all right, I won. You know, winning, you know, winners win. I won some shit in my life, and I get it. So what I'm saying to you is, if you can practice and you can have some things that you can say, you know what, no, I got that. And you're going to find it in golf. You'll find a 20-yard chip shot that, like, if you chipped into a mattress or into a wall that has some carpet and the ball came back to you and chip, and just to feel that, you'll know, like, little things. There's so many ways to do it. I'm going crazy because I'm passionate, because chapter 3 really turns me on. But, like, listen, frequently, you know, what looks like a fairly good golf swing falls apart in competition. That's where he's getting to, is that so he won, but the swing was falling apart in competition. And sometimes it's due to the player's temperament. Not everyone is built for tournament golf. And tournament golf for you amateur hours simply means that you play for a little money. Now, tournament golf, every single shot matters. You play it as it lies. You have competitors. Everyone's taking forever. It's a disaster. But it's the most fun ever also at the same time, because you're out there. Your ass is on Jose Boulevard, like out there for everyone to see. Tournament golf, nothing like it. Not a lot of you are ever going to play it. Just know that when you're playing for anything, that's when you feel it the most. So always play for a little something. $10, $20, just something to really see. Now, if you want to go out there, fart around and have fun, this and that and the other, tournament golf and money golf is as different as ping pong and ice hockey. True story. Like, it's not even the same shit. But what you got to do, you got to play for a little something to really feel it. You got one life to live. You're going around this thing one time. And then that's it. Who knows what's up after that. But, like, for real, play for a little something and get your shit dialed, and it's going to get you better faster. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so this fool says a correct swing will, in fact, the greater the pressure you put on it, the better your swing should function. Like, every time I get to a free throw line, bro, I don't care. What do you want? It's no matter the amount of money. That's it. And if you can get a swing that repeats, where you cock that shit, just cock that shit, and now the head of the club is in line with the spine, boom. I'm going to do a video for you, that's it. And then you turn, you cock, turn, bump, hide, turn, and hold. That's a Manolo lesson. But Hogan's talking about how important it is that the swing, if it is able to be repeated in competition, will hold up even more. Like, the nastier it gets, good ball, dog. Way to go. 4, you better score. 11, that's a hell of a tackle. The greater pressure you put on it, the better your swing should function, if it is honestly sound. And I feel confident that what I tell you about the true fundamentals is right, because the crucible of competition in which those fundamentals were put to the test proved to me that they were right. All right, so I'm going to skip a bunch of stuff because I want to get down to the nitty gritty, and you have a lot to do, and this is deep. And look at that. Like, I know anybody reading is like, oh, there's another 2 pages of... All right, so fundamentals of golf, as I see it, fall into 4 natural groupings. Those that relate to 1, the grip, we discussed. 2, the stance and the posture. 3, the first part of the swing, which we are discussing right now. From address, and I don't mean your home, that's where you stand up and like, all right, I'm at address. Boom. Man, they scored quick. These fools about to run these dogs out of Miami. All right. Where am I? Focus. To the part of the swing, address to the top of the backswing. All right. Now you're at the top of the backswing. Now you have the second part of the swing, which is the start of the downswing, to the finish and the follow through. That's it. That's where this movida goes to. And in this chapter, we will be discussing the first part of the swing. This phase of the swing requires some instinct, a sense of organization, some thought, and a fair control of muscular action. Do any of you have muscular action? Some of you do. It would be good if you had some muscular action. You know, we're on Instagram doing some stuff where Topless 26, where this last summer you didn't take your shirt off because you were like, I'm off. I'm not where I want to be. And Topless 26 begins in the beginning of October of the previous year. You got to put in 3 hard months to be able to on January 2nd, because unless you're crazy or whatever, you're not doing shit on January 1st. You're watching football, you're relaxing, and you know, you're all blown out because you partying. But it starts on the 2nd. But if you had 3 months, think about it. And then the 2nd happened, and you already were like, these next 3 months are where I get it. That makes January, February, and March, which means on April 1st, you're ready to rock. Not July 1st. Wrap your head around that. That's really where it starts. So, whatever, I digress. We're going to go back to this. It should be, of course, that every golfer, no matter how sound his game is, must expect to experience some ups and some downs. He says it, I say it. They are going to be way better off if they have their fundamentals dialed in. Work your fundamentals. Do chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, which we discussed. I'll get to 4 and 5 as fast as I can. I have to go to Mexico, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to do it. All right. So the phase of the swing requires some instinct, a sense of organization, some thought, and a fair control of muscular action, like I said. So it is, however, much less involved than this makes it appear. Learning the backswing actually consists of getting a few movements clear in your mind and then learning to execute them. This is where the golf shot begins to be played. The first point about the backswing and the swing in general he wants to emphasize is the body, legs, and arms are properly positioned and poised to begin with. Any golfer with average physical equipment can learn to execute the proper movements. This is why you must build on a correct grip. This is why you must build on a correct grip and stance. For the golf swing is an accumulative thing. All the actions are linked together. Now, listen, I know some of you are watching for real. Pour yourself a little more wine, sit back, relax, and let me coach you. For instance, when your grip is correct, you will have the proper live tension in the muscles which run along the inside of the arms. We've discussed this all the way to the armpits. These are the arm muscles you want to work with. They tie in with the muscles of the body that should be used in the golf swing. Coordinated movement results. Same thing with the legs. The inside muscles, which stretch from the ankle to the thigh, are the right ones for the golf. The inside. It's the insides. The insides. A lot of people do outside shit. Bears, Eagles, November 28th. Fly, Eagles, fly. Black Friday football. I'm an Eagle fan, man. Go Raiders all day long. But fly, Eagles, fly. Inside. It's the insides. You've got to use the inside. If there's anything that I could really consciously focus on in, like, I'm on the insides of everything, keeping everything tight and inside. All right, so check it out. The bridge between the address and the actual start of the backswing is the waggle. Waggle that shit, smack that shit, man. The bridge between the address and the actual start of the backswing is the waggle. That fool says it right there. Zoom in or whatever. Like, I got to keep my shit together. As a golfer looks at his objective and figures out the kind of shot he's going to play, his instincts take over. He waggles the club back and forth, possibly because the word waggle suggests that any aimless kind of oscillation fills the bill. Many golfers have the mistaken idea that it doesn't really matter how you waggle that shit. I waggle the club. I say that shit. To put it another way, they think the only purpose in waggling is to loosen yourself up so that you won't be tense or rigid. It's so much more, man. There's a great deal more to the waggle than that. It is an extremely important part of shot making, far from being just a lot of minute details. It is a sort of miniature practice swing, an abbreviated dry run, so to speak, for the shot coming up. As the golfer takes the club back on the waggle, he accustoms himself to the path the club will be taking on his actual backswing. As he waggles the club forward, he adjusts himself so that the face of the club head will be coming into the ball square and on its line. Are you as turned on as I am right now? Anyone. We're waggling that shit and smacking that shit right now. I used to read the shit when I was a kid, for real, when I was building golfing clubs with my granddaddy. Oh, I brought the full thermos tonight. Go to Instagram and watch the Halloween video. It's a good one. I made it today. Okay. During the waggle, as he previews his shot and attempts to telegraph his mental picture from his brain to his muscles, the golfer makes the little adjustments necessary to be perfectly in balance for hitting that particular shot from that particular line. The waggle is like really important. Because you waggle that shit up, down, high, low, left, right, there, that. I mean, like you're a lot goes on. Like not every shot is on this turf right here. You know, it's not like that. Now, to groove the swing and do all the things, yes, but you got to work with that shit. The hands and the arms move as they waggle the club. The hands and arms pass their rhythm, their tempo of the coordination onto the legs and the feet. The trunk of the body and the shoulders pick up this beat smoothly from the arms and the legs. The whole body, in effect, becomes synchronized to the ritmo in which the various parts will be working cohesively together during the swing. My God. All I know, waggle that shit. When you waggle that shit, you get it. And then you come back and you understand. It's the preview, man. That's the dry run. You're not on Broadway. You do the dry run on Wednesday. Show on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. If you take full advantage of the opportunity the waggle affords, you can practically rehearse the swing you'll be using. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking, it's right there. I do that shit all the time, man. Screw it. Watch this. Hold on. I gotta move the studio, man. I mean, it's a whole thing. It is waggle that shit. Waggle that. I mean, I'm boom. Like I come out and then in. And everything stays here. I'm what because that's on the way back. And I try to keep this thing in lines with the spine. A lot of people do that. That's what is that, bro? What are you doing? You about to serve pancakes to the people, bro? Boom. And the waggle just right here. Waggle that shit. I'm back and I'm in. I'm back and I'm in. I'm back and I'm in. And depending on the shot, man, it's all whatever. Like, I'm back and I'm in. I waggle that shit and I smack that shit. Waggle that shit. And the waggle is like that. And I'm moving. I'm grooving. I'm nasty perro. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. And then if it's a little guy, I still, but like, I'm like, and weight on the front like a little cheaper, and I want to hit it low or I want to hit it high. Like that's the waggle. All right, let's put this thing back. How were we? I feel like I saw some bumps right here. Okay. Oh my God. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to tell everybody what's up. All right, so if you take full advantage of the opportunity to waggle that shit, you can rehearse the swing you'll be using. I know, he knows, that he sometimes concentrated so hard on the shot that he was going to hit that he honestly felt the shot could not fail to come off exactly as he intended. None of you feel that, and that is not for you to feel. He was ultra nasty perro. On those occasions, I had the definite sensation that I had really hit the shot before I even started my cub. I get it. I feel that shit sometimes too. Sometimes I waggle that, but like, you can't stop. You gotta keep it moving. Otherwise, you're gonna back that shit up like cholesterol and juvenile. You gotta go. And some shots feel better than others, for sure. And there are times where I'm like, I'm gonna flush this thing. Like, stuff it. And a lot of the times I do. But it takes thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of golfing smack that shits in order to get there. But it's a true thing. Like, you can feel it when you get it. All winter long, waggle that shit, waggle that shit, waggle that shit. There's a reason waggle that shit, smack that shit stays on my wrist. Because, like, in case I get dementia or forget. In the waggle, the left hand is the controlling hand. If you're a, normal human. The right works along with the left. All right, it's bold now. Bold right. Each time you waggle the club back, the right elbow should hit the front. All right, it gets a little crazy here, and I get it. So let's see if I can just kind of throttle this down. All right. Hit the front part of your right hip just about where your watch pocket is. None of you were watching. When this takes place, the left elbow, as it must, comes out slightly. The lower part of the arm from the elbow down rotates a little, and the left hand moves 3 inches or so past the ball toward the target. As the hands move back to the ball and forward on the waggle, the left hand also moves an inch or two past the ball towards the target. During the waggle, the upper part of the arms remain rooted against the sides of the chest. As we stated earlier, there should be no turning of the shoulders. Basically, what this perro is saying is this. You don't do none of that shit. You just waggle that shit. Waggle that shit. It's that one. It's like your elbow rubs. You rub. You keep this shit together and you waggle that shit. Waggle that shit. And wait. Oh my God. I'm dying. Waggle that shit. Waggle that. It's a thing. I didn't just make this out of thin air, man. I was really waggle that shit. While this vato, no, they are routing these fools. The dolphins are on land. They need to get in the water. Waggle that shit. Waggle that shit. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. You feel that? You see that? Okay, that's enough of that. Too much waggling is not good for the health. All right. When a good golfer is going through his waggle, to the uninitiated eye, it sometimes looks as if he were simply getting the fidgets out of his system or finding a sure foothold with his spikes. He is, as I have described, doing something far more purposeful than that. All right, we're going to keep skipping because the waggle is really important. The ritmo of the waggle varies with each shot you play. Don't groove your waggle. It takes instinct to plan and play each golf shot. And your preparations for each shot must be done instinctively. You got to feel that shit. You don't just waggle the same way for every single shot. If you're going to smack that shit hard, you waggle that shit hard. If you're going to be sexual Marvin Gaye, you have to, it's like you have to think that way. Let's say, for example, that you're 130 yards out from a semi-plateau green. All right, so that means like you've got, there's shit and shit on the green. You've decided that you want to get the ball up well in the air. I know people, you're like, I don't do shit in the air, dog. I fly maybe, but like not my golf ball like that. But like, think about it. During the waggle, the shoulders do not turn. That's a big thing. It's not this one. Remember, it's waggle. Just boom, it's right here. On a steep trajectory, you'll be playing, this fool says a 7-iron. Way back in the day, man, they were hitting 7-irons to 130. Pitching wedge, no. You want to strike the shot firmly, as goes without saying, but you want to hit a soft, feathery kind of shot that will float down to the green. Well, you'll waggle somewhat slowly, somewhat softly. That's the gentleness of the shot. You waggle as how you would like the shot to perform in the air. Soft and gentle, hard and nasty, that's your waggle. This is a really good episode because we're talking about the waggle. I forgot. I just knew that it was nasty, and I remember I know how to do it, and it's important. But now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right, so you'll waggle somewhat slowly, somewhat softly. This is the tempo you will also be using on the stroke, of course. So say, on the other hand, that you've got to bang a drive low into the wind on a hole where it's important to be out a good distance from the tee to get home in 2. Because not a lot of you get home in 2. Home in 2 means hitting the green in 2 shots. The green is home. For this shot, you'll move the club back and forth with much more briskness. This vato says briskness. All right. Man, you got all the way down there and had to punt that shit. What a disaster. That's actually good on the Dolphins. With more conviction, more speed, and you'll swing that shit that way. The waggle, in other words, fits the shot. So the waggle gives the golfer a running start, so to speak. It blends right into the swing. For all general points and purposes, the backswing is simply an extension of the way the golfer takes the club back on the waggle. The club follows that same path it is swung back at the speed the waggle has regulated. There is, however, one significant difference between the waggle and the backswing, which must be made crystal clear. So, if you're waggling gentle, take the club back gentle. If you're waggling nasty, bring it back nasty. Like, do that shit. I'm telling you, this is an OG one. This one should go viral for sure, for the sake that was a really good play. Like, this is important shit. During the waggle, the shoulders do not turn. On the actual swing, they do, right from the beginning of the backswing. The backswing is, in fact, initiated by the almost simultaneous movement of the hands, the arms, and the shoulders. So just because you waggle that shit here without moving, that's why you could get confused. You're like, but I moved my shit on the way back. Yeah, fine. Move your shit on the way back, but not on the waggle. Waggle that shit once, check it out. Waggle that shit a second time, and then, boom, that's when the swing comes. And as you can see, my body already gets into a nasty position with my head and my neck and all kinds of shit where, like, it's on. Because I'm trying to come back and keep my left eye focused on that golf ball, not my right eye. I'm left eye because that's it, and not the rapper chick, and just boom, and I stay there. That allows me to keep my back towards the target for a long time, and boom, boom, and boom, that shit. Introducing the shoulders does not alter the pattern you set up in the waggle. By turning your shoulders on your actual backswing, you simply increase the arc of your waggle. So throughout these lessons that we've placed special emphasis on the fact that the golf swing is in principle a continuous chain of actions. Like the component parts of the engine of an automobile, the component parts of the swing fuse together and work together in a purposeful sequence. As each component performs as part of the operation, it sets up the proper operation of the other components with which it is connected. I bring this up at this particular point, for if a golfer clearly grasps the interrelationship of the hands, the arms, the shoulders, and the Shakira hips, he will play good golf. He can't help but play good golf. This is coming from the, mouth, mind, whatever, of one of the nastiest all-time greatest smack that shit perros, Ben Hogan, to ever do it. People say he was the best ever and shit. He was just, didn't do it like, whatever, but like best ever and shit. If you didn't know who Ben Hogan was, nasty perro. And he was like a little vato too, but he was a gangster. He was a gangster and he practiced his ass off and he was nasty. On the backswing, the order of movement goes like this. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Okay, we're doing this. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Okay, right here. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, arms, hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. So this is when you cock that shit. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. I will repeat that shit all damn day. I gotta get back to the book. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. That's where you are at. That's when the bump comes. We're gonna get to it. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Bump that shit. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips. Bump that shit. Okay. I really hope you watch that on repetitions. Where are my little dots? Oh my God, the book fell. Son of a bitch. I need water anyways. I'm sweating. I don't farm at all. The birds is chirping. The dolphins are drowning. What a disaster. Okay, let's see how fast we can find it. Nope. Yep. Boom, I found the waggle. All right. The backswing, arms, shoulders, and hips. On the downswing, the order is simply reversed. So as we go hands, arms, shoulders, hips, on the downswing, we are going hips, shoulders, arms, hands. That's the biggest difference in the thing. That's the thing that you have the most trouble with in the golfing swing is you don't know what's where and why. Hands, arms, shoulders, hips on the way up, and then flip that shit on the way down. Hips, shoulders, arms, hands. So on the way down, God, I hope you can see me. It's hips, shoulders, arms, hands. That's why you hide that shit back here, because everybody starts with their arms and hands, and that's where disaster central starts, and that's why, frankly, you saw it almost simultaneously. Actually, the hands start the club head back a split second before the arms start back, and the arms begin their movement a split second before the shoulders begin to turn. As a golfer acquires feel and ritmo through practice, the hands, arms, and shoulders will instinctively tie in on this split second schedule. Man, this shit happens so fast. But just for you to understand, you've got to bring these things back starting. It's like it gets there. You feel me? All of this is a chain reaction. So when you come and bring and do and move and you're back and now it's all in this like beautiful symphony of that's it. For the novice, it is important to know that you do start back slow, closely together, that the action is unified. So even though we're telling you which ones to do, it's not like meh, 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 meh. You gotta bring these things boom, 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 boom. Eventually, when you practice it, it will all go back kind of together. But if you can start with cocking that shit, turning that shit, you're gonna get really good just off of having a great ritmo when you come into the back of smack that shit. A lot more consistent. Your ball doesn't spray all over the place like you're watering the plants and the garden and the yard and shit. On the backswing, the shoulders are always ahead of the hips as they turn. On the backswing, the shoulders are always ahead of the hips as they turn. The shoulders start turning immediately. Keep this shit quiet. Go to bed. Hibernate. Don't be nasty. This is the move. The hips are the last part on the way back. Just before your hands reach hip level, the shoulders, as they turn, automatically start pulling the hips around. As the hips begin to turn, they pull the left leg into the right. So this is dormant. Turning, and then once you finally get to a point, that's when the hips turn, thus bringing the left knee into the right. And this thing is stable, like roots in a tree, like a pitcher on a mound. Go Dodgers, figure it out. Important, you turn into this. Later, fool. Is that your golf swing? Do you sway out of the frame? Mine. If anything, when you're taking the club back, you've got to go the other way. That's nasty perro. If you see somebody that is rotating away from you shouldn't have any problem with it because they can't time it up, especially if money's on the line. But if you got a vato or a princesa that is turning and going like this, man, that's the person you need to be worried about because they got all the power in the world. They're not wasting the motions. The shoulders, you want to turn the shoulders as far around as they'll go. Turn those things. The more you turn your shoulders, the better. Most golfers think that they make a full shoulder turn going back, and they would challenge you if you claim they didn't. But the truth is that few golfers really complete their shoulder turn. They stop turning when the shoulders are about halfway around. Then, check this out for real. In order to get the club head all the way back, they break the left arm. I mean, you want to talk about what's really going down? You don't turn. You got it till here, and then guess what? You stop because you didn't do yoga. You didn't, and your fitness is crap. So now you break. There it is. Now you have Tyrannosaurus Rex. All right, Jurassic Park. And now you really effed because you didn't keep that shit. You turned what you could. You stopped where you stopped. You do not have the flexibility, and now the left arm breaks down, as does your swing. It's like you may as well put 4 flat tires on your car. Find it. Okay. Good. They stop turning when the shoulders are about halfway around. Then in order to get the club head all the way back, they break the left arm. This is really a false backswing. It isn't a backswing at all. A golfer can't have control of the club or start down into the ball with any power or speed unless his left arm is straight to begin with. Just let me get on this side of the chair. When he bends his left arm, he actually performs only half a swing and he forfeits half his potential power. More than this, half his potential power. More than this, that was a really, really good kid. He is led into making many exhausting extra moves that accomplish nothing for him. The second you break this, bro, now you are full-blown putting out every fire in your forest fire of a golfing swing. Boom, fire one. Now you got fire two, and you're just trying to put it out, and now you suck. And now you come home, suck. Your relationship, your kids, everybody. Why is dad pissed off? Because he sucked. Because he broke his left arm. Because he just simply didn't turn that shit. Or mom came home in a bad mood. Sweetheart, what's up? Nothing. My backswing sucks. My left arm broke. Your left arm looks fine to me. You don't know what I mean. All right, check it out. An excellent way to check that you're making a full shoulder turn is this. When you finish your backswing, your chin should be hitting against the top of your left shoulder. Your chin should just hit the top of your left shoulder. Right here. That's it. Right there. Not that one and that one. Right there. Find it. Find that shit. Find that shit. This vato, because I know the rest of this chapter, he would like make an indentation. Like his shirt would have, you know, like you could tell that vato is like, all right, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. If your shirt's clear, you got it on your golf shirts. Make sure like here's you got like, what's up with that, dog? Be like, nah, my shoulder turns gangster, dog. That's what's up. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Some prominent golfers advocate taking a big turn with the hips. That's not that ritmo. It's not a hip thing. It's a shoulder thing. If the hips are turned too far around, you create no tension. You want to have some tension. You want to have all this shit quiet while you turn. All right, now here's what we're going to do. We're on page 70 and 71 of lesson 3. Because this is such a gangster ritmo, I need you to absolutely bring this part in because we got another second part to this. Now, chapter 3 is important because this is where you really get going. You got the grip, you got the stance, you got the posture. Now you have to figure it out what it means to take the club back, why the left arm stays straight, why you're turning, what it means, and why. Get your shoulder under your chin and let's start doing this. Let's get some flexibility right here. It's not about turning the hips and it's not about a half-ass shoulder turn and breaking it down. That doesn't matter. You're breaking it down. Keep this perro straight. Once we understand that you hinge, that's what I'm saying. You cock that shit. Turn that shit. Okay, good. Right here. Always. Now we're always into this position. This is going to keep us into a way to smack that shit like you never smacked that shit before in your life. Page 70, 71. Here's where we're at. We stop here. It's a must. You have to retain this. It's too much if I keep going. Then we have 13 more pages to figure it out, what it means to get all the way to the top, why and how, and what the bottom means. So for now, that's it. Make sure you repeat the 1, the grip, the 2, stance and posture, 3, this part of the swing. Because in 2026, we got to get your fitness right and we got to get your smack that shit right. Because we can't keep living life not able to play golf the way we should be able to play golf. Put a little bit of effort, listen to the video, watch that shit. I'm reading the book for you. Nobody reads. And let's get our golfing swing to being something that you can repeat again and again and again, whether it's for $5 or $50 or you turn competitive because you're a little niño saying, I'm going to do that shit and I'm going to do it right. Either way, that's what's up. At Manolo Teaches Golf. We are here. This is what we're doing. We're going to finish this book off all for you. Because why? Because that's it.